Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 53 of A Wild Podcast Has Appeared, the official Pokemon podcast of Comicbook.com. I am one of your hosts, Jim Viscardi. Megan Peters is back from her staycation and determined to never miss an episode of the show, even after having a baby. He didn't have the baby, his wife did, Christian Hoffer.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, look at me. Dedication. I apologize in advance. I'm a little bit slappy happy because I haven't gotten more than like 2 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours.
That's fantastic. Yeah, Christian, we're celebrating his new child, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
it's gonna be great.
Oh wow, I just had a brain fart.
No.
Well, this show's about Pokemon, right?
Yeah. It is. It is not. This is not the
it's
Christian
not about
Hoffer.
vacations or children.
Yeah, this is not the Christian Hoffer baby hour.
No,
however, I do have to say, so like, this is a total really quick tangent. I'll do it quick, but like in South Korea, like when babies turn a year old, they like sit 3 things in front of them, and then like whatever they pick is gonna like pick their like lot in life of like fame or fortune or whatever. You absolutely have to do that, but with 3 starter Pokemon of your choice.
He did that with his first, didn't you?
I did, and his decision was not Squirtle. So it was really great. We placed the 3, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle in front of our first one. And so he like crawls up. He was like heading towards Squirtle, and like Darcy and me were like, that's like the worst choice. And he picks up Squirtle and just tosses it aside, and then like sits in between like Bulbasaur and Charmander, and just like looks up and kind of like wrapped his arms around both of them. We're like, okay, yeah, we'll take this. Like Bulbasaur, Charmander, he has eventually come over to the Bulbasaur camp. Bulbasaur is his second favorite after Pikachu, of course. Charmander is a Pokemon that exists, and he still doesn't like Squirtle, so he has awesome taste. So
Nora, we picked Charmander, and I was okay with that choice.
But what if now your second child? What if your first child had to pick both Charmander and Bulbasaur because your new child is going to be the biggest Squirtle fan?
Well, we have, he can sleep outside. And, I wish him the best of luck.
CPS calls have already started.
Yep.
No. We will.
No. I was just kidding.
Love my child, even if he has the poor taste to like Squirtle.
I mean, you're still friends with Jim, so.
Exactly.
Wow.
He can't have worse taste than Jim.
Wow. All right.
How to bring it around.
This is a show about Pokemon, and sometimes you get conversations like that one. We talk about all things Pokemon related, the games, the trading card variety, the console variety, the mobile variety, and the in-between, whatever that may be. We talk about the anime sometimes. We talk about the manga sometimes. We talk about really anything about Pokemon. Show's broken up into 3 parts. First part is a little bit of news. We catch you up on the news of the week. Then we take a break. We do a deep dive into sort of a bigger topic of conversation. And then at the very, very end, Christian gives us the Pokemon fact of the week to make you a better, smarter Pokemon fan. Let's get into it.
Okay. That's
Sword and Shield news. Haven't had a bit of that in a little while outside of some more Max Raid stuff. And surprise, the news this week is different Max Raids, Gigantamax Raids.
But these ones are really cool ones. So Gigantamax... Yeah.
Pikachu.
I mean, okay, you have to take this in the context. So for us, veteran Pokemon fans have had this game since, well, before day one. Not quite as big. But right now, you can get Gigantamax Pikachu in Max Raid battles. This is the first time that you can get Gigantamax Pikachu in a Max Raid battle. Before, the only way you could get it was if you had Let's Go Pikachu save data on your game. Or on your Switch, and you could receive it as a gift Pokemon. So this way, not only can you get a shiny Gigantamax Pikachu, but you can also get one with like the right stats, the good stats. IVs, the hidden ability Lightning Rod, which was previously unavailable. This actually is a big deal. Not everyone played Let's Go Pikachu.
That's true. So if you did play Let's Go Pikachu and had that Pikachu in your party for whatever reason, you can leave that one on the curb and get a nicer, fresher model.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And this is part 1 of a 3-part max raid event. Next week, you can get Gigantamax Eevee in the wild, and then you can get Gigantamax Meowth in the wild. And, Eevee, once again, Eevee you could have gotten if you had Let's Go Eevee. And Meowth was like an early bird special. So if you bought the game at launch, I think it was the first month or two.
Yeah, I think you had till January or something.
Yeah, but a lot of people, if you didn't know about it because you got it for Christmas and you aren't listening to this podcast, you wouldn't have known that. So, this is a nice second chance opportunity. They all come and you can get the shinies and blah, 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 so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is an actual big deal. I think it's cool news.
If you evolve a Gigantamax Eevee, does that still keep the Gmax move that Eevee has?
Nope.
Nope.
It's gone forever.
Wow. Yeah, I'll say this as somebody with both of them currently, which I got from the Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Pikachu's better. I'm not going to just toss my current one to the curb because I'm not Jim Viscardi.
Is it worse to just leave your Pikachu on a curb or leave it forgotten in a box?
Just set it free. Just let it go.
Yeah,
or set it free.
Trade it to somebody who will appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll trade it or something. I'm not just gonna
You don't know if that person's going to appreciate it.
It will eventually find its way to a trainer
to a nice and loving home. It's Toy Story, but for Pokemon. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here. But this is also great timing because I personally know, a couple of my friends who have younger kids. They have I don't know what they sold their soul to find a Switch during the quarantine because those are very difficult to come by right now, but they managed to get some, and they've gotten Pokemon and Animal Crossing for their children. So this is pretty nice for them because they definitely did not have any of those opportunities to get these
for sure
big boys and girls.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah
Good for the new players.
Yeah, for us,
I'll probably pick up one or two.
Yeah,
I'll pick them up, but I'm not.
Eevee, I don't care about. Pikachu, I definitely want to.
Well, so Gigantamax Pikachu actually is a pretty solid Pokemon to have because it's got that paralyze. I forget what the Gmax move is called, but it paralyzes opponents automatically, even Pokemon that usually couldn't get paralyzed by Pikachu.
Yep.
That is a freaking game changer right there. That's a really great move. And we've seen it has some competitive viability. Eevee, that's junk. And to be honest, so is Meowth. I mean, they're just not super great Gigantamax. I love Meowth's look though.
Yeah, it's just long cat.
Yeah, long cat. I mean, you missed where we talked about, were you on when we talked about the 3 foot long Meowth Gigantamax? I can't remember.
I want that thing. Except it's super expensive.
Blur. But yeah, it is. It's $300.
Yeah, that's more expensive than the actual life size Snorlax beanbag.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
All right, on the trading card game front, this one is a true crime. True crime.
Well, first, I just have to I'm pretty sure I know what it's about before even just in our show notes, it just says, bad Charizard art. And if this is the artwork I'm thinking of, I'm deeply offended by that description because it is horrifying.
No, that is so cool.
What? Oh, come on, Megan. You're gone from 1 week and suddenly me and Jim are in agreement. Usually it's me and you ganging up on Jim for his bad opinions.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if you've listened to last week's episode yet, but
I did.
It was like Bizarro World.
Yeah,
no. All I'm saying is that I'll let you explain, Hoffer, and then I'll give my correct opinion on the situation.
They're, it's really funny. We keep jumping the gun, discussing the story without actually explaining the story. So, the last couple of years in Japan, they've had this special art contest where fans submit their art, and a few pieces of art gets chosen to be put into actual Pokemon cards. And one of the pieces of art that got submitted this year was this awesome depiction of Charizard. Very abstract, very unique looking.
Mhm.
And it did not get chosen. Comicbook.com wrote about it with a very poor headline. I don't know who wrote
Stop
it.
Thank you, Hoffer. It's because I wrote a correct headline.
But yeah, it looks awesome. Like let me bring up the Charizard art so I can like do a really good
My favorite part of this art, to me, it kind of looks like, so like it looks a bit of a throwback of like classic feudal Japan type art.
yeah, like
Oh,
Yeah.
what is happening? What
Yeah.
world am I living in right now?
But like the best part of this is like tucked in the right hand side in the corner, basically it's like a little Charmander
Yes. No, so
hiding
that's
behind
good.
a rock. It's so freaking cute.
Okay, so whoever's editing this video, please put just this picture of this Charizard here. If not, please, everyone listening, go look this up if you're not watching the video. Basically, I am fine with the body, the texturing of it, the color, like that style of artwork is fine. And the artist who did this picture of Charizard, they did a Pikachu one last year, which I love. I still love it. It's still saved on my phone. It was my screensaver for a long time because ugly Pikachu was just like my heart and soul. There is something about Charizard's face in this though that has affected me to a point of just like sheer terror.
Well, I think it's because his eyes are like wide open. Like usually when we see Charizard, because he's got the angular eyes in his like official, there's a really funny side tangent, one of many that we're apparently having this week. We've there's like a study that's shown like like Pokemon eyes have gradually become less and less angular over time.
Mm-hmm.
So Charizard has these like usually these normal angular eyes, but these things are round. The pupils are large. These things are like like Charizard is hopped up on like meth or PCP or something, and he is about to mess you up. Like you can't even see his lower jaw because like he's got so much fire like coming out. He looks like if Endeavor was a Pokemon.
But like, I don't know. There's something about it that just weirdly triggers me. I don't know what it is. It's just an unfortunate piece of work. I would have loved for it to have won the contest though, because that like weird brokish like look, I think is so different from anything we've seen.
It's very medieval.
Yeah, so it's no surprise that the Pokemon company and the trading card game said no to this artwork. There's just something. I feel like
did the Pikachu one win?
No.
That won last year.
It did win.
Yeah. I can't do a poll of this. God damn it. I was going to do a poll on Twitter.
Very cute.
I was going to do a poll on Twitter to ask our fans whether or not this artwork is horrifying or bad.
Yeah, you can't do it with two pictures.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's okay because I already wrote an article about it, and all the feedback I got said that's the stuff of nightmares.
Nightmares in an awesome way.
Right,
nightmares can be cool too. I mean, I think it's because like this thing looks like Vincent van Gogh's depiction of Charizard.
Yes, I think we are on the exact same page here. We are just interpreting it two very different ways.
One person clearly appreciates art and the other one doesn't.
Thank you, Jim.
I appreciate it. I just think it's the stuff of nightmares.
I just love the idiot Charmander. Like
the Charmander is so
Charmander's
adorable
got
though.
This big goofy grin on his face.
I feel like Charmander looks terrified. That he's just like one of those like minions to Charizard, and he's just like, oh, I don't know what's happening.
This entire artwork screams, "Don't ever speak to me or my son again."
Yes.
That's what this actually depicts. It's like Charmander's just like, yeah, my dad is about to mess you up.
Well, I'm excited because this person has done Pikachu. Now they've done like Charmander, Charizard. So I'm hoping next year they do Bulbasaur. Give me an Ivysaur.
I mean, listen. I would welcome this artist to do a Bulbasaur or Ivysaur because it would look amazing.
But I really want I want that Pikachu card if it exists, because that Pikachu one's pretty cool.
The Pikachu
I
artwork is so cute. He just looks like
Got a little Caterpie on there.
yeah, it's a cute. It's terrifying, but it's still like kind of like that's still cute. So.
All right. Well, we can move on to some Pokemon Go stuff.
Now that we've gotten our deep dive out of the way.
Yeah, right. The Johto Throwback Challenge is currently going on, and a new community day is on its way.
Yes. So the Throwback Challenge is the weekly thing that they're doing every month, or every once a week for this month. This month is the Johto region. So if you turn on Pokemon Go, you will see a bunch of Johto Pokemon. I already completed it because I had a lot of time on my hands on Monday while my wife was in labor. So
a lot of Pokemon in the hospital.
I 100% did. And so the prize that you get from completing this is a Ho-Oh that knows Earthquake. Guess who got a shiny Ho-Oh?
No way.
Whoa.
I did. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
Like, hang on, I'm gonna pull it up
Are you
right
gonna
now.
give it-
What's the
are you
challenge?
Are you gonna
So
trade
it's
it
a-
with Dart? Are you gonna trade it with your wife since
Oh,
you know she
hell no.
went through the pains of labor?
Listen, I too went through the emotional pains of labor. She's
I
gonna
guess
kill
you
me.
were the birthday
Thank
buddy.
God. Thank God that she does not listen to this podcast on a regular basis, because she would literally be marching her butt out of the hospital against medical advice to come and kick me in the rear for saying that. So I think,
Oh.
yeah, yep.
Wow.
Look at that. It looks awesome. Like, I forgot what Ho-Oh looks like.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shiny.
That's a pretty good shiny. I did show it to Darcy because she saw me like sing on the couch like flicking Pokeballs, and she's like, "Hey, what you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm playing Pokemon Go," and she's like, "Get anything cool?" I was like, "Actually, yeah." I showed it to her. She's like, "That's not a normal looking Ho." I'm like, "You're right, Darcy. That's a shiny. Good eye." And she's like, "Oh, thank you. I do know something about." And then she had another contraction, and then like 7 hours later, the baby showed up. But
Oof.
it's fine. It was a good labor.
There we go.
The emergency C-section.
Wait, so what's the challenge?
So it's an 8-part challenge. So like it's kind of like special research basically. So
okay.
each one, so each section has like you have to catch a certain type of Pokemon that reflects the different gyms in the Johto region. So it's stuff like catch an ice type Pokemon, catch a ghost type Pokemon. And then there's other stuff that's like hatch an egg. There's some that's power up your Pokemon, things like that. Evolve a Pokemon, because Johto had some new like evolutions, and Pokemon Go introduced the evolutionary items to the game. So they kind of did a reflection of that. It doesn't take very long. Even me as I have not had the opportunity to play Pokemon Go as much as I would have liked to over the last few weeks due to, impending baby stuff. But I've managed to get both the Kanto and the Johto ones done. It usually only takes like maybe an hour to complete it all. Like, you toss on an incense and you should be able to get everything that you need. Like, usually the longest part is like hatch an egg. But like, I did the Kanto one when Darcy and I were just like walking around the block last week, and literally I did the entire Johto one at the hospital, so it doesn't take very long.
Nice.
Also, CDOT is the community day, because we mentioned that.
Stupid CDOT.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Hello, kitty cat.
Yes, I told you we would get a rogue kitty cat. This is Xander, everybody. We're turning into a short Buffy podcast for a second.
All right, so then moving on Pokemon Go, the Pokecoin distribution getting nerfed.
It is. People are ticked about this.
Well,
so they're testing this out. Instead of you getting Pokecoins mainly from sticking your Pokemon in gyms, they are lowering the rate that you can get Pokecoins from gyms. So right now, I think it's like one every 10 minutes, I think, is how it works. So you get like 6 per hour. And now it's once every 30 minutes, so 2 per hour.
Oh, wow.
But on the flip side, you can now complete like a random daily task to get 5 Pokecoins automatically. So if you're somebody who doesn't often have Pokemon in gyms, this is a good move because you're going to get 5 per day. Just for completing stuff like make a great, curveball throw. If you are somebody who is consistently getting 50 Pokemon coins a day or Pokecoins a day, you hate it. Like the Reddit threads were just like, how dare you? Like, what did we do to you, Niantic? Like, like I depend on this currency to feed my children. And by feed my children, I mean like buy premium items in the game. But like they were, I mean, I was like, oh, this is pretty good for the casual players. So then I hopped onto Reddit, and like they're like sharpening the pitchforks. Like I've never seen Reddit so mad at like Niantic, and they get mad at Niantic like literally
They do.
every
daily.
week. But they were extremely mad about it. Like I was like, oh, I'm getting 5 free Pokecoins a day. All right. So they're testing it. It'll probably get changed because people are really mad about it.
So enjoy it, I guess, while it lasts.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's only being tested out in Australia right now. So if get your Pokemon in gyms now.
Yep, get them in.
Yeah. Like, and then, which ironically, us saying that will cause less people to get Pokecoins because there will be all this infighting about coins.
Be way more competition on gyms now.
That's why I never get freaking Pokecoins from gyms. Like, it's like when I worked at an office way long ago, before in the fabled pre-quarantine days, I had 3 gyms by my office, and I would go through and I would battle and I would stick a Pokemon in each one on my way to lunch. And by the time I came back from lunch, all 3 of those Pokemon would be kicked out. It sucked.
Oh yeah, I mean it was the same thing at our offices. There was like a group of people like who would amass from different companies within the building. They would go down there and defend the gym. The only time I was able to ever is like one time I left super late at work. It was like 8 p.m. and I stayed for like an extra hour after my shift, beat all of them, put in my Pokemon, got a couple of my friends who were Team Mystic to put their Pokemon in there, and we were able to keep it for the weekend. But then like 6 a.m. Monday morning, they were gone. Like, it was ridiculous.
The longest I've ever had a Pokemon in a Pokemon Go gym was a couple years ago. My dad took me, I'm not going to say dragged because that would be a little bit rude to him, but me and him went on a religious retreat to a monastery in rural Indiana. The funny thing about it was it was this massive cathedral in like the middle of cornfields. Like the entire thing is insane. Like, big, like medieval style cathedral in rural Indiana. It had a Pokemon gym. And so I stuck a Pokemon in there. Like, it wasn't even like a good one. It was like a Bayleaf. That Bayleaf lasted in there for 4 freaking months. And I was like,
wow.
I was like one day,
That's
like
crazy.
something that's like Bayleaf just showed up like on my like it needed revival list. I was like, oh, hey, buddy. How was your like sabbatical? Like,
Dang.
it's now a very religious Bayleaf. Found God at this cathedral.
It's very chill. Yeah. Similar situation happened to me at one of my close best friend's wedding. It was at the middle of nowhere in this farm, and like there was like a crop tower. For some reason that crop tower was a Pokestop, like a Poke gym area, and I left my Pokemon there, and like 3 months later it came back and I was like, how you doing? Good to know.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll go to the Hawlucha gallery figure. I love Hawlucha just in general. And so to see it get a gallery figure makes me love it even more.
This is like one of my favorite gallery figures. I'm going to buy it. I'm waiting until I get home from the hospital because the Pokemon Center has really good delivery times right now. So I want to make sure like I'm there. Like, it's not just sitting on my front porch for a few days. But this thing is awesome. It's a Hawlucha doing flying press. And so it's like in the air. It's got its like arms extended. It's looking up. And like it's literally like a rush of air is underneath it because it has literally just jumped. Like, I love the gallery figures. You know this. like I've talked about the gallery figures like whenever I get a chance to on this podcast.
Yep.
This one is the best.
It looks really good.
It looks really good. I'm really glad that, because we're in like year 3 of these gallery figures now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're like still producing them, because I thought that now that they're making like the Funko ones, both the high quality and the low quality Funko ones, that we would start to see these go away. And no, they're making like better ones than ever, and I'm very happy about it.
And speaking of the Funko ones, we got our new Eevee and Friends. I immediately, as soon as it was announced, put this in like our podcast Slack and just started screaming. So it's Glaceon, which is like just chef's kiss perfection.
It looks awesome.
It looks so cute. It looks so cute. So far they've released Eevee, they've released Vaporeon, which of course is my favorite. They have oh my gosh, I've just blanked.
Sylveon.
I wanted to call her Svetlana and I knew that wasn't right.
What?
I don't even know. It's because I was like reading something from a writer named Svetlana the other day, and that was like the only thing in my head. Sylveon, not Svetlana. And now Glaceon. So as I casually break Hoffer with my error there, Glaceon's coming. And it's coming on May 19th, so it's like less than a week from going out. Obviously, the Pokemon Center will have it
in limited quantities.
Yeah, in limited quantities, so get it ASAP. And like Hoffer also just mentioned, the shipping time on these items have been fantastic. So
like
it will come.
24 hours.
Yeah, it will come in like a day or two. Like that's been my experience ordering these Eevee things. Super cute. Please look it up. It's a great. And once you've got them all, they all like arrange into like a little panorama scene of all the evolutions.
Somebody on my local Facebook marketplace the other day, someone was selling off like 2 or 3 of the Pikachus, like the Funko the Day with Pikachu ones, for like $10, and I almost hopped on that to buy them just so I could like turn around and sell them on eBay for like $75.
Dang, Hoffer.
I almost pulled a gem, but you know,
that's such a gem move.
I decided no, I am not a Pokemon figure speculator. That is not me.
Alrighty then.
All right, and the last bit of our news section today. Oh, excuse me. A Pokemon Go apology cake goes viral. Now, this is a great story because it's a little absurd and then gets very absurd. Who wants to talk about it?
So basically, this story is kind of like, it starts off as your typical Pokemon Go story. Someone was playing Pokemon Go and got the cops called on them because they look shady. And so they got pulled over. And I say this like lightheartedly, like, you get the cops called on you because you're playing Pokemon Go. I mean, that's dangerous. It is. It's very dangerous. In this, we've seen the stories about things going wrong. Not to say that that's what happens 99.95% of the time, but someone gets the wrong idea about you looking shady, bad things can happen. And so they got the cops called on them for playing Pokemon Go. The neighbors found out, the person who called the cops found out that, who they called on, they were just playing Pokemon Go. So they send this like birthday cake with like Pikachu and Squirtle and like the little kid's birthday cake. And it says, in fancy cursive, it says, "Sorry, I called the cops on you." It's like, how could you be mad if you get a cake like that?
I mean, that's a pretty sweet apology.
I would take that.
Yeah. I love it that people are still calling the cops on people playing Pokemon Go.
I don't understand. I mean, I guess if it was like super intrusive trespassing, but just like if you're sitting in a car, like trying to like, I don't know. That's weird. That's just weird to me. I don't understand.
Well, it was like, they were, the issue was they were pulled over. The the family was like driving around the neighborhood, going slowly and playing Pokemon. They weren't even walking around.
Right.
They were just driving around, and they got pulled over in their own driveway.
So crazy.
Wow,
So
that's a
nuts.
little bit ridiculous.
And like, you know, and what was great about it was the neighbor only found out that they were playing Pokemon Go because the person who had the cops pulled on them, which was like a woman and her daughter. And they posted about it on Nextdoor, which, you know, if you have this app, that is like grade A passive aggressiveness. Like,
busybody, just central.
And
Yes.
sorry we called the cops on you. And it's got a nice little Pokemon figure. I love it so much.
That's pretty amazing. That is a solid apology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever call the cops on me, please also send an apology, a Pokemon apology cake.
Either that or something Dungeons and Dragons related.
Oh yeah.
Just like a big D20 cake.
That would be awesome.
There we go.
Yeah, I would take a D20 cake 100% of the time.
And I know that we said that this was the last news bit, but that is in fact wrong because Hoffer apparently doesn't care about anime.
I do care about anime. I even mentioned this in the description for our episode, and then I forgot to write about it because I wrote this at the hospital, Megan. I wrote this at the hospital.
All right, Megan, what do you got before we take our break?
Yeah, really quickly. I mean, we saw it coming, but the new Pokemon movie, Pokemon Coco, has officially been delayed. It has been indefinitely postponed. It was meant to come out in Japan on July 10th. It would have introduced Zarude, and it would have been this huge, nice little kind of jungle adventure Pokemon movie. Well, it's been delayed. They have no idea when it's coming back. Currently, Japan is under a state of emergency. Theaters are shuttered there, just like they're shuttered here in the U.S. And just kind of as the entertainment Hollywood industry here is unsure of how things are going to get back into swing, the same thing is going on with Japan. So we have no idea when this movie is coming out, and the anime is still being postponed. So.
Well, what's most worrisome about this is what does this mean for the Zarude distribution in Pokemon Sword and Shield? Because, we were supposed to, Japanese fans were supposed to get that in July.
Yep.
Now,
I would be surprised. Well, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, they might still do it. They might not. It's difficult to tell. Because a lot of people would just say, well, why don't they put Pokemon Coco on a streaming thing? But for Japanese audiences, this is going to be released in Japan first. Streaming video on demand, that's not super prevalent there unless you have like a premium subscription to something. They still are very heavily theater centric. So it'll be interesting to see that kind of shift in dynamic. So we'll find out, I guess.
All right, when we get back, we are going to have an appropriate discussion where I'm sure there will be many opinions on baby Pokemon when we get back. All right, Christian had a baby, so now we're talking about baby Pokemon.
It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, and also this was like one of those weird weeks where we had lots of little news stories, but nothing that really qualified as like a big news story. So I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about controversial Pokemon. Should we have them?
Well, first, let's everyone mention their favorite baby Pokemon. We'll start.
Toxel.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, see, here's the thing. I understand that Toxel looks like a baby because it kind of has a diaper on it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I never considered Toxel a baby Pokemon,
Jim,
until you brought it up.
It's literally known as the baby Pokemon.
I mean, I guess so.
No, that's literally its description in the Pokedex.
Oh, is it really?
Toxel, the baby Pokemon.
Oh, I had no idea. I totally missed that.
So I will say this. Not every young-looking Pokemon is classified as a baby Pokemon. There are certain qualifications that it needs to have. It needs to be obtainable by breeding. It needs to be the lowest in its evolutionary group. And it also needs to be part of the unidentified egg group. So, like, there's certain, like, technical criteria that, makes a baby Pokemon, like, a baby Pokemon. And Toxel is the first baby Pokemon that we've had since Gen 4. Like, I legitimately thought up until Pokemon Sword and Shield that baby Pokemon were a relic of the past, and that's a good thing in my opinion.
False. Oh, Hoffer, stop.
Okay,
here we go.
Here we go. I knew this. I
knew
was like,
you were baiting me. This whole conversation's a bait for me.
all right, well, let's talk about this, because here's my issue with baby Pokemon. It's not that I don't like baby Pokemon. I love baby Pokemon. They are cute. They are merchandise movers. They are completely superfluous to the Pokemon experience.
I only like maybe 4 of them.
They're completely useless in battle. They have no point in like the evolutionary scheme of things. But much like my cat here, they are so freaking cute.
They are freaking cute, but they're also useless. They're so useless.
So cute.
Like, it's like they don't have a point.
You cannot tell me that a Chingling is cute.
I mean,
yes, the whole point of babies,
or a Wynot, or a Bonsley.
Oh
None
my
of
God,
them
Wynot is so cute.
Wynot is a great Pokemon.
You have just immediately eradicated all of your credibility.
Igglybuff is not.
Igglybuff is an ugly Pokemon.
Oh, that's completely false.
No,
false.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. If we had a choice between a Cleffa or an Igglybuff, everyone's going Cleffa.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yes, but they're both little Pokemon.
Igglybuff looks like a pink turd.
I hate Pichu.
No, that's just fundamentally
Elekid looks like a bully.
I don't like Elekid. I think Elekid sucks.
Mime Jr.'s a little weird.
Mr. Mime is weird.
So here's the thing. So I guess by definition then, Teddy Ursa is not a baby Pokemon?
No, it is not.
No,
even though it's very clearly a baby.
No, because so I'm literally pulling up the definition. Must be obtainable by breeding. Must be the lowest form in the family chain, and must be able to evolve at least once. Must belong to the undiscovered egg group. Yeah, and that is why Teddy Ursa is not included. Now, in early Pokemon games, here's what I don't like about baby Pokemon. This is the real reason. They could only be obtainable by breeding.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go get a freaking Clefairy, then you'd have to drag its ass to
the breeder,
the breeder to get a Cleffa. That is just dumb. It is the stupidest mechanic in the game. And like I like forgot about it for a while. And then in Pokemon Sword and Shield, there's like 4 or 5 species. Like Cleffa's one of them, and it's like, another one was like Mantike. Like I couldn't freaking catch stupid Mantike in the wild, so I had to go and like breed it and get the stupid incense.
Here's the thing: I love Mantike though. Mantike is very cute.
Mantike is a cute Pokemon, but I couldn't catch one of the stupid things because they move so freaking fast. And the stupid ponds, they were impossible to catch, and so I had to go and buy freaking incense. It's like, no, just give me my Mantine, which moves through the wild much slower. Let me go and let it, bang a freaking Ditto, and voila, I have myself a Mantike. That's how it should work.
Yeah, I agree. I agree the functionality of baby Pokemon are useless in the game because none of it.
It's a useless function for useless Pokemon.
No, because for people when you're doing if there's contests or pageants or anything like that, baby Pokemon are so cute. And me, I very much, if I was in the Pokemon universe, I would not be a trainer. I would be a pageant trainer. I would 900% have all the cute Pokemon. And there's no reason to shame people for liking the aesthetically pleasing nature of that. What I do think is problematic, again, as you peel back the horrifying veneer that is Pokemon, breeding is just an issue in Pokemon. I always had it. It just comes off very weird to me. It's kind of I don't know.
Well, it's no different than dog breeding or horse breeding.
But it is different though, because why does if you put 2 Wobbuffet together, put them in a room, and then leave them alone, and they produce an egg, why is it hatch into another Wobbuffet unless you have scented candles? That's weird. That is a bad mechanic.
The scented the incense thing.
They're just setting the
just
mood.
makes it worse.
It is. It's like
that
you know,
is.
unless it's like what? Unless like the Wobbuffet are particularly randy, you know, they're going to produce a fully grown adult Wobbuffet. Like that makes no sense to me. Why is it that when I hatch an egg, sometimes I get a level 1 Wobbuffet and other times I get a level 1 Wydot?
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
That is dumb. That is wrong. Like, you know, breeding is problematic on its own, mainly because, you know, you can mix and match anything with Ditto. Which poor Ditto, just all the guy does is just
I agree. It is messed up. I think it all needs to be revamped, but I don't think like the inherent idea of like baby Pokemon and the ones that we've been introduced to so far are necessarily bad. They might not be your cup of tea. I think they're all cute. I mean, Munchlax. Chef's kiss perfect.
Does Munchlax have legs?
Yes. I mean, he has feet.
Feet.
He's like, yeah.
Well, he's got feet, I know, but like,
well, I mean, I'm
is
sure
that fur? Is his dress looking thing fur or?
Yes.
Oh, it's definitely
what?
Fur. It
you
just covers
see
his
it
legs.
walking. Like it can't just be feet.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
just
don't know.
fur. It's just like a super I see we're peeling back the veneer too far now. I don't want to go that far. All I just want to say is the idea of breeding in real life connotations for Pokemon is horrifying, but I think that the idea of baby Pokemon could have had such an interesting mechanic within the game, but it was never pursued further. Because I understand they're trying to focus on one thing, but for people who are wanting to, you know, explore more of the like pageantry elements or other ways that you can use Pokemon in the society that the games have created, that it's short-sighted.
But here's the problem, though. Either they need to then reclassify a number of starter evolutions as babies or introduce baby Pokemon for every species. That to me has always been the weirdest thing. Like Pidgey to me could be a baby, should be a baby. But because it doesn't fall into the weird, you know,
like
structure that the Pokemon
I
mythos
don't
has
like
built,
the sub classification, mainly because like these Pokemon tricks, it's like, you know, I didn't mind it too much in like Pokemon Sword and Shield because you could find like, you know, Bonesley in the wild, you could find Chingling and Budew. Like, you know, as long as you can find these Pokemon in the wild, like I don't mind them, you know, so much. Like I love the idea of adding pre-evolved forms of certain Pokemon. Like give me more baby Pokemon. Just don't make it that I have to go and buy like, you know, like weird, like, you know, like chocolate covered strawberries Pokemon so that they can like breed them. Just change it. Just change it.
Yeah.
Make it the default. Do away with incense because it's weird. It's so god weird. I'm sorry.
I agree with that.
Sorry, Rich, that you have to edit so many of my curses out this week. I'm sorry. Like, but it's weird.
It is weird. I agree. It is weird. The process of it is weird. I do not think the product of it is weird. I feel like it is a natural evolution or pre-evolution, I guess as you would say, for the franchise. It's just been very weirdly approached.
It is. And well, and I feel like I don't understand why we just haven't gotten more baby Pokemon. Like, why did it get abandoned for like 4 generations, basically? Like, we haven't gotten a baby pre-evolved form other than Toxel, which, you know, while it qualifies as a baby Pokemon and it's defined as a baby Pokemon, it's different than 95% of the baby Pokemon because it's just the first evolution of a new Pokemon species. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Riolu. Like, you know, that's technically also a baby Pokemon.
Yeah.
But really, it's just Lucario's pre-evolved form. It's
but
not
that's what I mean. But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like there is a previous version. Like, there is a baby form of Riolu, like lurking out there on some designer's drive or whatever. Because Riolu looks to me more like a middle evolution than
it's like a toddler. He's like maybe like 4 years old. Where's baby?
I think he's a baby Pokemon. Like, I have no qualms with him being the baby Pokemon. I just think that we should have just gotten Lucario, and then in Gen 5 they introduced Riolu. Now I understand why they didn't do that, because Riolu is very marketable, and like that you if you're the Pokemon company, you don't leave money on the table. Although they have done that many times, because there used to be a lot of baby Pokemon that they scrapped. Like, have you seen like the baby Meowth from like the Gold and Silver betas? That was a cute baby Pokemon. And baby Vulpix. Like
baby Vulpix is so cute.
Like, that's like, I want more baby Pokemon. Give me more baby Pokemon.
Baby like just let us have like Pokemon baby fever for a little bit. It's okay. Just like make the process make sense.
Yeah. Like, listen, Pokemon, like, I mean, it just would have, like, I was just thinking about this morning. It would have been absolutely terrifying if, like, Darcy and I, Darcy's out there giving birth to a child, and suddenly it comes out as a 6-year-old because 9 months ago we didn't play the right mood music. I mean, that's a terrible connotation, and they need to do away with it.
Yes, we could agree on that. For anybody who says the baby Pokemon are useless and ugly,
I also hate Pichu.
Jim has, so is my son. Jim has wrong opinions a lot. Like, he didn't have very many of them last week, so he's just catching up.
He had to make up for my absence.
Yeah. Oh man. So baby Pokemon, let us know what you think about baby Pokemon. Are you just disturbed?
Like, Tyrogue doesn't even look like a baby.
Yeah, I'll admit.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing on that. He looks like a kid wrestler. He reminds me of like a middle school or elementary school wrestler. That's what, and also, like, I did like that you could catch him in the wild in Pokemon Sword and Shield. That was awesome to me, because I always freaking hated Tyrogue. I thought that was the dumbest stupid thing, because he's got the branching evolutions, but you have to get like a Hitmonchan from like the random like guy who's handing out Hitmonchans, and then you have to go and breed it, and then you have to take that baby and you evolve it into a different Pokemon. It's like, how does this make any freaking sense?
Yeah,
like, there should just be Tyrogues running around everywhere. And
what's that? Like, Hitmontop doesn't look near as old as Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee.
Yeah. I think originally, this is just idle speculation. I'm probably 100% wrong. It should have been Tyrogue, Hitmontop, and then branches off. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan should have been the final evolutions.
Oh, I would have said different. I would have put Hitmontop looks more like a baby than Tyrogue does.
Yeah, but like Tyrogue, like what's Tyrogue's like fighting style besides like looking like it could get pinned by like a slightly chunkier Tyrogue? Like, listen, I relate to Tyrogue. I too was a scrawny wrestler at one point, and I sucked. So like Tyrogue probably he is like, my like, at some point he was like, my Pokemon persona. But like, like Tyrogue just like, I like, like Hitmonchan looks like he could, like punch you in the face. Hitmonlee looks like he could kick you in the face. Tyrogue looks like he could, like, grab your ankle and then you shake him off.
Yeah.
So that's,
right.
that's
one last thing, only because it's now that I'm looking at them, like Toxel to Toxtricity needs a middle evolution somewhere.
Yeah. That's that one was, well, I didn't like the fact, so in the game, you could get Toxel like from like a rando, like you could get it, but if you like, I got my first Toxel going through the wild area, so like, I got my Toxel during the second stage of the wild area and was at level 29. So I had a Toxel for like literally the hottest of seconds. Like, I added to my team, like, like I beat up a Tyrogue and then it evolved. That's like, what is this? What is this? And there's a few Pokemon that are like that in the wild area. And it's like, I don't feel like I really got to fully experience Toxel, and it looks cool because it's a baby electric Triceratops that gets a punk phase.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, I love Toxtricity. Toxtricity still is on my Pokemon team to this
It's like
day.
how Sobble has like that weird emo middle evolution. Toxtricity needed one, but like punk version.
Yeah, like it definitely should have gotten like, like chains, like, like a leather jacket, probably
the studded,
made from
like this
Sobble.
like studded belt you would get at Hot Topic.
Yeah, like maybe like a lip piercing.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Pokemon.
We're helping you out here.
All right, Christian, let's do the Pokemon fact of the week.
All right. Well, unfortunately, this is one of those sad Pokemon that there's just not too much interesting about it. Ponyta and Rapidash. They're known for two things. One, they run fast. Two,
Yes,
they
do.
run fast. That's basically it. However, at least Galarian Rapidash is a little bit frightening when you think about it. Its Psycho Cut can cut through sheet metal.
But like sheet metal isn't really that thick though.
It's not. It's a kind of, it is like legitimately just not a very, like, I love Galarian Rapidash. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it is one of my favorite Pokemon designs. And like when I saw that like this week was Rapidash week, I was like, all right, let's find out what, like, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's Rapidash. And it's like, really, guys? Like, that's all you got? Like, this thing probably, like, the Pokemon fact of the week for Rapidash should be somebody needs to do a better job at, Rapidashing. A thick metal sheet. Just, it's just metal. Yeah, no shit. Like, Rapidash, I certainly hope that a Rapidash moving 150 miles per hour can pierce through a metal sheet. If it's not, that is a weak unicorn horn. And there's just like, I don't know, like there's just not too much like cool facts about Rapidash.
Or is that you were saying that like, that Charizard looked like Endeavor from My Hero Academia. Like if there was ever like someone who could be a cool Endeavor kind of like Pokemon, it'd be Rapidash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but no, it's like literally all of Rapidash's Pokedex entries from like Red to like Sword and Shield it runs 100.
It is boring as shit.
It is. Oh,
but
look, it runs 150 miles per, and it's got a good acceleration time.
Just 10 steps.
Just 10 steps. But that's it. Like, how is it that we have such a cool Pokemon like Rapidash that has a Galarian variant, which is like even cooler? Like
Rapidash has been robbed.
It has been. And there's nothing cool about Ponyta either. Like Ponyta's like, it's a baby horse that's on fire. It's like, come on, guys.
Have we ever considered the idea that we have not yet seen the final form of Rapidash? There might be another one which we haven't gotten yet, and that's like the best.
Like, but the best is that I'm looking at Ponyta, like the Ruby and Sapphire entry is Ponyta is very weak at birth. Like,
no, I certainly hope it is. I would be frightened if Ponyta came out and could shoot through
as
like
a newborn.
sheets.
It can barely stand. No shit.
Like, yeah, so can my newborn. That should be part of its Pokedex entry. And it's like, yeah.
What is your child's Pokedex entry, Hopper?
All right, hold on. But the Galarian entries are actually pretty. They're okay.
Yeah.
It's small on Sword. Its small horn hides a healing power. With just a few rubs, the Pokemon's horn, any slight wound you would have would be healed. And then from Shield, this Pokemon will look into your eyes and read the contents of your heart. If it finds evil there, it promptly hides away.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty cool.
That's because that's what unicorns do. Like, unicorns like sense pureness, and so they kind of took that. Now, I will say this: now that we have brought up the Ponyta's healing power, we can talk a little bit about where that healing power comes from. Did you know that unicorns, unicorn horns, were actually a healing thing that like people tried in medieval times? Like, there are real like unicorn horns that exist to this day, and they were, believed to have healing properties, and so they were very highly sought after. Now we know that they're narwhal horns.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty cool that, back in medieval times, people would find like narwhal horns and be like, holy crap, guys, I got myself a unicorn horn. I'm going to cure cancer. Like, I love it. Like, that's like one of my favorite like random facts, and that translates. So that's something cool, I guess. I mean, only in the context of that there were real unicorn horns that were like bartered about in medieval society, which were actually narwhal horns. If you like the origins of unicorns, narwhals, that's cool. Otherwise, it's kind of like, yeah, unicorns have healing powers. We know Ponyta's a unicorn, so of course it has healing powers. Like, oh yeah, like Ponyta doesn't like evil. Neither do unicorns.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah, it's a unicorn. We get it. I mean, it's better than like, oh, when Ponytas are born, they can't walk. It's like, well, what Pokemon can? I guess the answer is a lot of them because, we have established that when Pokemon come out of their eggs, they're immediately supposed to like hop into battle and beat up other Pokemon. I'm not going to do that to my newborn.
Good. I appreciate it. What type would you assign your newborn, though? I'm curious.
A sleepy type.
Gotcha.
A cute type. It would probably be fairy type right now, only because that, like, literally all the little nugget does is sleep. He just sleeps and sleeps and sleeps. It's awesome. Like, the only reason we're doing this podcast right now is because that child sleeps.
Yep.
Otherwise, you and Jim would probably be, like, in agreement that baby Pokemon are actually okay. Because Jim wouldn't feel the need to be nearly as controversial since there's only two people. Anyways, that's your Pokemon fact of the week. Ponyta are weak. Rapidash move fast.
There you go.
All right. Every once in a while, we read reviews on this show. And we got two new ones that I wanted to spotlight. And if you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and we read it on the show, generally in this part of the show, email editor@comicbook.com. Let us know, and we will send you out a free comicbook.com t-shirt. Obviously, because we are all stuck working from home, there is a delay in sending these out. But I promise you, once we are back to normal, they will all ship out all at once. We're going to stuff that mailbox full of shirts. So head on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, and maybe yours will be right on the air, like this one from Cubone and Natu Trainer Lannister fan. Does anyone know if Slowbro and Slowking loses the shelter attached to its body, does it turn back to a Slowpoke? I don't know.
Wasn't there an anime episode about that?
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
I want to say like one of the anime's episodes tried to address that. The correct answer in the context of the actual Pokemon games, is if a Slowking or a Slowbro loses the shelter on its tail and or head, it probably just dies.
Wow.
That's probably hidden. We'll find out the answer to that here when we get to Slowpoke week.
There we go. All right, stay tuned.
Yeah, we will answer that question.
There is also more to this review. I depend on this one, along with Luke Love's Pokemon and others, for my introduction to the Galar region, since I don't have the games to play. Last time I played Pokemon was Generation 3. I was born in the early 90s, and I started playing the original Pokemon Red version when it was released in the US. So I've always been a huge fan of the games, and each new generation excites me, not as much as this one. Also, cannot wait for the Netflix series to be released. Then I can see Pokemon of Sword and Shield in the anime forms and see how they're shown that way. That's what we're looking for. That's what we can't wait for. Thank you, sir. And then the next one is from 2K Guy. Love this show. I listen to this every week while I shiny hunt. Keep up the high-quality content. This keeps me entertained and keeps me in the Pokemon know. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I love reviews.
Yeah, I do too. I get a lot of self-esteem from them. I'm not gonna
lie. All right. Well, that about does it for us today here on A Wild Podcast Has Appeared. You can find this show anywhere podcasts can be found: Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, obviously, anywhere that they're found. Just type in our title and boom, there we are. Hit that subscribe button and tell some friends about it. Obviously, the more people who come to listen to the show, the more we get to do and the longer we get to do it for. So go and do that. Otherwise, we will catch you at the same place, same time next Thursday for a new episode. We'll catch you then. like the point. Very dramatic.
Thank you.
That
You're
was such a Leon move of you.
welcome. Hey! Whoa, Megan! You're gonna pay for that next week at D&D. I swear to God. I'm just
Okay,
gonna.
I'm sorry, but like,
I'm gonna drop a spider on your ass. I swear to God.
all right, sounds good.